Okay, I figured out my key to success. Now I'm locked in. I learned how to open doors like a locksmith.
Welcome back. You're now locked in with DK and Atwood. I'm Atwood. Killer to my left is DK. And then the killer to the far left joining us today. Fresh blue belt, Alan.
Alan, yes.
What's your last name, Alan?
Thank you.
What's your Alan?
What's your last name?
Anderson.
Alan Anders.
He has no Instagram.
Yeah, no Instagram.
Facebook.
Facebook. I rely on my wife for all that.
We had to pay him to be here today.
Yes.
But no, Alan's a very cool dude. More ways than one. But just got promoted to blue belt. Alan, how long you been doing jiu-jitsu?
A little over a year and a half.
Right on. So at this stage in your life, what brought you to jiu-jitsu? Have you been like a lifelong martial artist of any?
No, when I was younger, I participated in kickboxing, American Kempo, for a short period of time. Then life
Another Kempo guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of Kempo dudes out there, man.
Yeah. Then life kind of got in the way. Married, kid, started to work. And,
Right.
How long did you do kickboxing though?
about 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was hard on the knees because I had bad knees. So the stop and go with the point karate.
Yeah, it's more
was
like
hard.
snappy,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Snappy was hard on the knees. So that didn't work out real well. But just kind of got bored with sitting around after I retired and thought I'd try it.
Right
I
on.
am.
So, I guess whenever you
hold on.
go ahead.
But why'd you want to? But why jiu-jitsu?
That's exactly what I was about to ask.
Wanted to step out of my comfort zone, try something a little different. Thought it would be good for my flexibility, which it has been. And, just looked like a fun thing to try.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said you've been doing this how long?
About a year and a half.
How old are you, Alan?
67.
67. So I wanted to ask, just because, and we talked about this a couple podcasts ago. I had somebody reach out to me, and I actually told you this today too. He was saying, I'm 39. Is 39 too old? So here's your proof. Alan, how you show up, what, 4 or 5 times a week?
Usually about 4 days a week.
And you do privates as well, right?
I've done a few privates, yeah.
Yeah. And so you're here, you're putting in the work, right?
He's done a few. I've taught him 10 privates.
Yeah, some more than a few.
I think it's been
mean,
10 to 15 that you've done with
Probably
me,
good.
somewhere around in there. And then he's done several with Ethan. So, yeah.
Bottom line is there is no excuse.
There's no excuse. If you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only excuse is just too lazy to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it.
All
Yeah.
right.
If I
So,
can do it.
but you hear every now and again, man, I'm just like, man, the injuries, like I got hurt and I'm going to quit. And, we talked about this too as well. It's like, and we both agree. What are your takes on, being injured?
It's a contact sport. You kind of have to accept that going in, that you may get dinged up a little bit, but you just kind of have to block it out and go with the flow.
You've dealt with some pretty significant injuries of your own, right? Like recently.
What's your injuries? Since you started jiu-jitsu, we got 2 broken ribs?
Yeah.
Or
2 broken ribs.
2 broken ribs.
Thumb and a finger.
A thumb and a finger.
Broken thumb and finger, or
Yeah.
oh,
And then
okay.
something about your ligaments, in your thumb?
I tore cartilage in my rib cage.
Okay.
Wow.
And you're a year and a half in?
Yeah.
Year and a half in. All right.
And not to scare anybody out there. It doesn't. That's
It
not
doesn't
like
always happen
Yeah.
that way.
It doesn't
But-
happen.
to be in Alan's position to go through those injuries and still show up all the time and put into work says a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to highlight, those things early on. Just to tell people out there like Nick, who hit me up at the age of 39, like, you have no excuse, brother.
Yeah, I get guys, especially obviously, we get emails all the time. Hey, I'm 54 years old. I'm out of shape. I want to start jiu-jitsu, but I don't know if it's right for me, right? Or I don't know if my body can keep up. And Alan wasn't like, listen, Alan, what'd you do? You did, let's start off, you were an athlete in high school, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're 3-sport?
Yeah. 2. Basically football and track. And
Football
then,
and track.
Lifted weights almost my whole life.
Yeah.
From real heavy to, as I got older, I scaled it back quite a bit. But always tried to stay in shape, never got really out of shape. But So I guess I had a little bit of an advantage coming in here. I wasn't totally out of shape.
But hold on. So, but you were a Pittsburgh City bus driver for 23 years, yeah?
Correct, yeah.
So, which takes its toll, yeah?
Yeah, it destroyed my hips.
Yeah,
Everything just
Yeah.
got stiff from being in that position.
Yeah.
How long are those shifts?
8 to 10 hours.
Dang.
Really?
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
Oh,
Just sitting there.
man.
Wow.
No way, dude. Wow.
I bet you've seen some interesting shit, huh?
Yeah,
Interesting
things that I probably
people.
can't comment on here.
Oh, you can say whatever you want, man.
There's probably people having sex on the bus.
Oh,
yeah.
you name it, drug deals, everything, man. It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Deep in the city of Pittsburgh?
Yeah, inner city.
Yeah. And you told me a while back they put you, what was your first route? It was like, you told me a story, something about you was in the bad part of town your first year or so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you start out, it goes by seniority, so you get the worst runs late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, you see all kind of crazy stuff.
Did you have to
going
get any situations, to protect yourself there, or people usually just left you alone?
on. For the most part, they'd leave you alone, but every once in a while, you'd have to call the police, for something was going on the bus. You pretty much learn to not see things.
Right. Yeah.
You just learn to survive.
Yeah.
So.
Man. I want, you don't have to share them on the podcast, but I want to hear some of these
I'll
stories.
tell you
Yeah.
some good stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to share it on the pod,
Yeah,
please.
I get emails from older guys and they don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I'm older, but I'm a businessman, or I'm just doing 9 to 5. And man, that's like running the rat race, right? It's just the wheels just going over and over and around, same thing. You go home, man, I need to have a beer. I need to have a drink. Boom, you pass out, you wake up, you do the same thing over and over again. And we get emails that, hey, I'm out of shape. Where do I start? And I'm like, man, he's living proof that like you can just come straight off the couch roughly. I know you work out still, but his mobility when he first started was not where it is today. Like I remember I was like, Alan, you got to sit down, man. Sit down. You got to bend your knees, man. And he's like, this is all I got. So he's like,
Yeah,
so
bend.
it was like this. He's in somebody's car. I'm like, you got to sit down, man. He's like, as low as I can go.
That's about it. It's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
I know it has. It has, man. You've gotten, it's pretty, this is the first time we've ever gotten out of these chairs in the show.
Yeah, that's the first time.
We were like, when we started it on the mats, we are like, dude, we'll be able to show moves right on the mats. Like,
Yeah, we don't ever get out of these chairs, bro. But one of the cool things about training jiu-jitsu too is like not only the growth that I see in myself, but is getting to watch the people that start around the same time that I do grow as well. And we haven't rolled lately, but every so often we will, and every single time, man. Whether it's your grip, dude, you got some mean grips, by the way. I don't know if I've ever
it's that
told you
man
that.
strength,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, old man
That's
strength.
old
But-
man strength
but-
right there. Yeah.
There's something to that.
I know. I'm getting it, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for that title.
But I've noticed you getting like a lot better as well, and obviously it only betters. It can only better everybody else, So I feel like I get a little better every single time I roll with you.
I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. Like, and I'm not just saying that shit either. Like, I really mean it. So, your hard work is paying off, man. And obviously, like, he doesn't just give away belts, So if he gave you a blue belt, then
Yeah.
But I don't consider it hard work. I enjoy it. It's fun.
I mean, it's still hard though.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard, but you got to put in the time. But I don't consider it like work, like grueling.
Right.
Right,
For me, it's
right.
fun to come in here.
So you started out. Another thing. Alan's got two. He's had surgery on both of his shoulders. Torn rotator cuffs. You
Rotator
said,
cuffs, ligament.
man.
That come from lifting weights?
Yeah. Both on the same day.
No
Both on the
way.
same day.
Did you bench press?
No, lateral raises
Lateral raises.
Wow.
on drop sets.
Oh man, what set were you on?
Started up at like, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds, down to 5, do as many as you can. Get down to 5 pounds, and it was like, oh man, something doesn't feel quite right. But, then in the morning, you couldn't lift your arms. So
Dang.
I found out I totally destroyed both shoulders. So.
Oh man, dude. See, me and Megan were talking about about my rotator cuff. I got a torn rotator cuff right now, man, and it hurts so bad, right? And she's like, and I blame it on us playing tennis. We went and played tennis on a Friday, and it was sore the next day. And then we went and played again on Sunday. By Monday, dude, I was ruined. Like, I couldn't do anything, man. And that's me, like, I'm like swiffing at the ball, and it's going everywhere. I'm trying so hard. But I blame it on tennis. But I was also preparing for Pan Ams at the same time. And I was doing kettlebell snatches every Monday and Wednesday I would lift it, with kettlebells and everything like that, and doing the snatches. And I think and this is just what I'm going to tell my son one day, is that he was from lifting weights as well, not tennis.
I'd say it's probably a good move.
Yeah, it's a good move.
But were you into bodybuilding or what?
Yeah, I was when I was younger.
Yeah. Who's your idol?
Probably Frank Zane.
Frank Zane, huh?
I don't know if I know of that one.
I don't
That's
know.
Probably long before your times.
Yeah, were
He
you
was in there with Arnold. Same.
Okay.
Okay,
Frank was a lot more slimmed down, a lot more sleek.
Okay.
cool.
So realistic looking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Did Frank Zane? Did you watch the most recent
Mr. Olympia.
No, dude, what is his name? Schwarzenegger. How can you forget that name?
I thought you were about to do the Ronnie Coleman documentary.
No, Schwarzenegger. He's got a new documentary out on Netflix. It's
Oh, I
like
didn't know
Being
that.
Arnold or something like that. And he kind of goes through his like work ethic, his stuff. Man, he's got a pretty good now. Like, I don't agree with his stuff politically and stuff like that. He's not the greatest as far as that's concerned, but he's a hard worker, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you just listen to the way his work ethic was at a very young age, and how he learned, how to build himself up from a young age is very important.
Yeah.
What about Jack LaLanne, man?
He was another one. I mean, what was he, 70 years old? He would still do a couple hundred push-ups, and
Yeah.
he'd swim. I forget what he swam, pulling a tugboat across. Was that New York City or something, the harbor?
He did that swimming?
Yeah. He
Wow.
pulled a
Yeah,
boat.
Jack LaLanne,
Oh,
man,
wow.
was
Kinda
the
crazy
man,
stuff at
dude.
his age, yeah.
But LaLanne, he had the first juicer, right?
Yeah, that's
Made
right.
by Jack LaLanne.
Yeah.
Like the ninja bullet?
Yeah, well, it's something like that, but
Something.
it's
Right.
like, dude, you couldn't. That thing was so hard to clean,
Yeah, I bet. Get the water hose.
man. But so you just in a bodybuilding? Did you compete at all,
No, I
or
didn't
no?
compete. No,
But
it
you were
was
just into getting jacked, huh?
Yeah, I just enjoyed
Taking
the
supplements. What kind of supplements you taking?
Never did steroids. Always took protein powder.
That's it, just protein?
Oh
then, yeah,
man, back then it was probably
Back then
terrible.
It was terrible, yeah.
God.
Oh, it was horrible. Raw eggs.
Oh,
Everybody
man.
was taking the desiccated liver tablets back then.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now that's big now.
Yeah, we used
Did you
to
know
do
that?
back then. No, I didn't know that was back in.
Dude,
vogue,
it
yeah.
is in big now. So like, Liver King, Liver King, he
Yeah.
sells the desiccated liver, and so does the Paul Saladino's company. I think it's Heart and Soil or something like that. Dude, that's back in
I
big
didn't know
time.
that.
Yeah, so that it has to have some truth to it. If it's
Yeah.
back during
Yeah, that was back in the 70s. We started taking
no
that.
internet.
That and vitamin E was big back then.
Vitamin E?
Yeah, we
What
didn't
was
know
vitamin
exactly
E?
why we did it, but somebody read it in a magazine and everybody took it.
Is it vitamin E or vitamin D that's like good for your skin? Like
E.
scars and stuff.
E.
Yeah.
E
Wonder what
is-
kind of effects
and
that
hair,
has.
I think too, right? Hair, skin, and nails is
Yeah,
like
could be, yeah.
vitamin E, maybe.
Huh.
I have to look into that.
So besides like the Kimpo growing up, were you ever like interested or like watch any kind of combat sports? Like I guess there wasn't a whole lot back then besides like
There really
Boxing
wasn't
and
anything
kickboxing.
back
Yeah.
there except for like boxing.
right.
And studio wrestling. I mean, that was about it.
Yeah.
There was no UFC or anything like that back then.
Did you watch any boxing?
Yeah, we used to watch boxing, yeah.
Who'd you like to watch?
Ali was cool.
Yep.
Growing up, watching him. He was just so fluid. He was so fluid on his feet. And quick.
Yeah.
The way he used to taunt people. It was pretty cool.
He's a
Yeah, the
sick
head was
rhymer
there.
too, man.
Yeah.
He could freestyle
Yeah.
in his press conferences.
Yeah.
So the heyday for mixed martial arts starts coming into play. Did you ever tune in on like Spike TV for any of the UFCs or
I
anything?
used to watch it sporadic, but I wasn't like a real big fanatic about it.
Right.
But I'd watch it. It was something to do.
Yeah. What got you into Kempo?
Just wanted to try it, see if I could do it. I always had this thing to try things that, just to see if I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like why
Enjoyed
you
it.
started
Yeah.
coming here.
But when you got sparred, it was more point stuff.
Yeah, it was. Well, we weren't really allowed to make contact. If you made contact, you got warned. It was all
Yep.
point karate. You had
Yep.
to stop. It was like the inch or two before.
Is that what's
That-
the point in that?
I really
Control,
don't know.
I think, is what they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I
It
get
was-
but like
I know. I see what you're
the
saying.
practical point. So like,
Right.
the practical point of jiu-jitsu is I can kill you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
well, what's the practical point of Kempo? Yeah, like I can strike you, or I'll come straight right to your face. I
Yeah.
don't get it, man.
It was actually harder to stop than to follow through and hit someone because the snap on the knee alone.
Yeah,
harder than to
man.
make contact.
Yep. And I feel like, especially in tournaments, did you ever compete?
No.
No. Well, in tournaments, like it's hard to like be fast and like not hit somebody.
be-
I used to get warned all the time for that crap. And we were all, and back then when I was little, we were wearing like body suits. There's no way we're hurting anybody, but you kick them in like the chest gear. It's like,
So
Warning.
how old were you?
23, 24 when I
Okay.
started that.
Yeah, and why
I'd
just
kinda
and you
get
just
into that
stopped
later.
because of kids?
No, it was hard on the knees. I already had some surgery on the knees and
So you've had knee surgeries too? 4 knee surgeries. Jeez.
for what? Like, what was the issues?
high school football.
Yeah. What'd you
Well,
play
like,
in
what was the
football?
injury?
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go. You can go first. You can go first.
What position did you play in football?
And wide receiver.
Wide receiver. That's what I did, man. I tore my right quad, dude. Look at that hole right there.
Yeah,
You
you
see
have a
that?
nice little scar there. Look
See
at
that hole?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tore my quad in my senior year. Not many
Dang.
people know that, man. I didn't even really know it at the time, but it's bad. But I can tell the difference now. I can tell my whole muscle isn't there now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Starting to show.
Yeah, I was playing tight end, and I remember a dude fell behind me, and guy came over top of me and kind of clipped me in the knees. And man, my leg! I came out for one play, I threw the ball to somebody else during that one play. Man, that it was supposed to be my play,
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm going back in. I went back in. Man, I remember on the way home, I was in agony. I was in so much pain. I think we played this team called Indian Land up in South Carolina. And, man, I was in so much pain, and my leg was just getting black and blue right there. Yeah, so not fun. So, yeah, I played wide receiver. Fast? You're fast?
I was till my first knee surgery.
Yeah.
So your
And
first
I
knee
never
surgery
made it.
came in high school.
Yeah, I only made it through, I think, the second game my junior year, and then my high school career was done.
No way.
Oh
man.
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty over
Sucks.
pretty quick.
Did you want to go to college and play, or?
Yeah, I would have liked to, but I knew realistically that was never going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you kept playing track.
No,
or
I actually
kept running
stopped
track
that too. I
Yeah.
stopped that too. Yeah, and that's when I got into weightlifting.
Oh,
We started
okay.
lifting weights back then. There was a little group of guys in high school that started out at the YMCA, in a little town called Greensburg. We'd go up there and work out.
Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, right outside of Pittsburgh. So that's where we started, and that's how I got into the weightlifting. So this is pretty cool, different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't think I'd get hurt, but I did.
So I'm looking at the scars on your leg. Are those from the surgeries? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
judging by the scar, I mean, I'm no doctor, but I would assume that's like a ligament.
Yeah.
Right on. So was it ligaments, the
Cartilage.
problems in both knees?
Ligaments, both cartilage. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, you got some cadaver in there?
No, that back
No?
then in the 70s, they really didn't do anything. They just took it out, and whatever your body reproduced, that was it. So
So how do your knees feel now?
They don't feel bad.
Yeah.
For everything I've been through, you know, they're in pretty good shape, I think.
Yeah.
You still have your meniscus in both knees? Right on.
Do you what supplements you take nowadays?
Right now, usually just Centrum Silver.
Old Centrum
That's
Silver.
about it, man, for old people.
Get out of here, man. We got to put you on some. I got some better stuff for you,
That's about
man.
all
Change
I
your
take.
life.
TRT.
TRT. No, I'm
Some
just kidding.
HGH, brother.
It's like, man, I can't believe that's the only thing you take. Man, you need to get on some more protein powder. It's way better nowadays.
The protein powder I took was bad. That stuff was bad. You'd have to like hold your nose when you'd swallow.
Dude, I know. Dude, I couldn't imagine. I remember when I first started lifting, I was into bodybuilding too before I got into jiu-jitsu. And, you know, I was into taking supplements as well. And I remember, dude, that was before I think Optimum Nutrition started coming out with like the gold standard stuff. But I started before that, and man, it was bad. You just chug it really, really fast. It'd be clumpy. It doesn't mix as well as it does now. Yeah, dude.
Give like swollen cottage cheese. There'd be big chunks in it.
Yeah, it wasn't like that, bro. But man, were you eating? Do you eat cottage cheese and like? Do you eat like a bodybuilder too?
Yeah, we
Brown
tried to eat-
rice,
Yeah,
grilled chicken,
Yeah, a lot of cashews, a lot of almonds,
Yeah.
a lot of eggs.
a lot of eggs. Yeah,
Would you drink them raw?
Eggs. Yeah, eggs used to be the thing. Ton of milk. Milk
Yeah.
was the go-to drink, especially chocolate milk after workouts.
yeah, right after workouts, bro.
Why?
Chocolate milk after workouts.
It just, man, because it's got the sugars in it. It can replace those glycogen stores.
Glycogen. Yeah.
Replace those glycogen stores, and then also it's got protein in it. It's got fats in it. So yeah,
Got
it's
you
just-
to boost the sugars for your carbs and
Yeah.
a little energy boost.
yeah, man. I was big in. So I was in like the Ronnie Coleman days, bro. Like when he was the man, and Jay Cutler, the Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman battle. You know, I used to be into all the like men's fitness, or not men's fitness, the bodybuilding magazines or whatever it is, and I used to be all into that.
I never
And then I realized, I was like, oh, I don't want to look like I can beat somebody up. I
wanna
actually
beat
want to
somebody.
beat somebody
Yeah.
up. You know, I want to know how to beat somebody up and win a fight other than just intimidation, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Nowadays, man, it's like now that's kind of a hindrance doing bodybuilding workouts as far as like this is concerned. Doing like curls and bench press is like it's kind of out for
Yeah.
me. You know, I haven't done a bench press or a curl in forever, except for like kettlebells. That's it. You should do some kettlebells, man. You ever lifted kettlebells?
No, I never did kettlebells,
No, just barbell.
barbells, and dumbbells.
Yeah.
And cables. You know, we had a lot of cables back then. It's mostly free weights. We really didn't do any of the machines or anything. There were no kettlebells back then when I started working.
Well, there were kettlebells, but it just hadn't made it to America yet, I
Yeah,
guess.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so wild though. You know, it's like you guys were living in the Stone Age, and you know, like the only information you knew was what was in your area. You know, because like, or what you read in a magazine. I
No
guess.
internet and
No internet. Yeah. I always forget about that too, man. Because like, I mean, I didn't really get the internet until, you know, as a teenager. Later on, as a teenager, you know, then I think I got my first like real cell phone. With free weekends on like when I was 17 maybe or something like that. You were probably 47 or something.
Probably at least.
No. You know, I'm 40 or 60,
67.
67.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you're 27 years older than me. So yeah, somewhere around there.
I couldn't have done the traveling before GPS, dude. I'm out.
Oh,
Dude.
man.
I
I'm
drove
out.
to
Learn how
Alaska.
to read a map. You can't read a map?
I can, but I would rather not.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
no fun, yeah.
like
Dude, I
having
drove-
to have somebody in the passenger seat.
I drove to Alaska from New Mexico. Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing. Just Atlas, bro. I ended up in Alberta, Canada, and Edmonton, somewhere around in there, man. And I'm on like a logging road because I'm like, oh, we can take this shortcut,
Uh oh.
dude.
Was it a
It
shortcut?
was. Oh yeah, man.
Oh,
But it
okay.
was like I got to this. I mean, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I had to I'm running out of gas. I need to figure out something because I was driving from where I was stationed in New Mexico up to Alaska where I was stationed. And I was driving. I was in a little Honda Civic in November, and so we started going down this one way towards this town. Because, and we're running out of fuel, and I'm like, man, I turned around and went back the other way because the other town was closer, and went there, had to spend the night in this little bitty, hotel that had no TV. I mean, it was weird. But it was pitch black when we got there because the sun goes down in November up in that part, really, really early. Get there, wake up in the morning, and I'm driving out, and people are just looking at us weird because we're in Canada and we got South Carolina plates or New Mexico plates or something like that. And next thing you know, it's like we see this big giant glacier. Just holy crap! We didn't even know there was a glacier that's just sliding that you could see that this town is just living right next to this cool little blue piece of ice just right there, man. And
You were driving up there in November in a Honda Civic? What was that
dude.
like?
That was insane.
Crazy snow everywhere?
So in Montana, it was scary. Yeah, man.
Oh, especially the mountains?
Well, as Montana, it was snowing so bad, man. And I'm just driving a car in big pieces of snow, and I was
White knuckle.
19 years old, 20 years old at the time. Driving through there, dude, and you were raised in snow.
Yeah.
See,
Right. I didn't like it, but we all drove in it.
yeah, I wasn't, man, and so that was my first real experience driving in snow, and we got all these big trucks are just flying by me, big F-150s are just going. I'm going 30 miles an hour.
That'd be me.
In this little Honda Civic, just barely keeping it on the road when these big trucks go by. So, it's funny now, after being in Alaska and driving in the snow so much. I mean, you live in the snow during the winter, the pretty much there's snow on the roads 24/7 up there because it just freezes on there, and to get it off, they have to really scrape it off. But I tell people now is when it starts snowing here, I was like, man, I got my driver's license in Alaska, for snow driving. My snow license. I got my snow license in Alaska. And you got your snow license in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So I couldn't imagine driving a bus up there.
Right?
Up and down those hills in Pittsburgh. Oh, it was terrible.
They put chains and stuff on the tires for that? No.
It was
they
a
just
giant
salt the
toboggan.
roads.
Yeah, it was like a toboggan, man. If you started down a hill, if it broke free, you were done.
Did you ever wreck? Did you ever crash a bus?
No. Been in a few accidents. People hit me.
Oh, okay.
Never my fault. Knock on wood.
That would be such an anxiety attack for me.
Yeah, it was very stressful for me. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because you never knew when you were going to be in an accident or where somebody's going to blame you for doing something.
Yeah.
But you did it for how long?
23 years.
So why stick around for 23 years if you?
Well, when I used to work for a company called Mine Safety Appliances, they had a big layoff. And
So how long did you work for them, though?
14 years.
Oh, wow.
So your jobs, you've basically there for a long time.
only
at every
had
job.
two
You're
jobs.
loyal. You're a loyal dude, bro.
In Pennsylvania, there was a lot of industry. There were jobs.
Man. I mean,
it's not like down here. But then I got laid off there, and my wife knew somebody whose husband was a driver for Port Authority, and they said, you ought to go apply. So I applied, and I got hired. So that's how I ended up driving a city bus for 23 years, and that took me up to age 62. So that was retirement age because, once you hit 40, 45, nobody wants to hire you. So I just stuck it out until I hit 62 and retired.
Right on.
Wow.
And then you moved down here. So what brings you to Myrtle Beach? Why Myrtle Beach of all places?
I wanted to get out of the snow, get out of the cold. We moved
Wanted to
down
actually.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't want to have to deal with that anymore, so we moved down here 3 years ago.
Do you go out on your back porch or front porch every morning and drink your coffee and read a newspaper?
My wife does. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't drink. My
Dang,
wife drinks
man.
coffee all the time, but I'm not
I am.
You got to let me whip you up a latte.
You got the machine now. don't you?
Yeah, it is new
He's got
coffee
the
machine.
Yeah.
Dude, it's not new anymore. I got it in Christmas, man. I'm a barista.
Pretty good at it now, probably.
I'm pretty good, man.
So in terms of like Myrtle Beach specifically, right? Like out of all the places, is Myrtle Beach like popular in Pittsburgh or around that area?
Yeah,
like
it's real
okay.
popular,
So
yeah.
is it's just a place where you think of beach, you think Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We used to go to Ocean City, Maryland a lot because it was close. It was only a 6-hour drive from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's just too cold there in the wintertime. No way would I retire there. So Myrtle Beach is a little further south, a little warmer.
Probably a little cheaper.
Yeah, it was a lot cheaper than Ocean City,
Yeah.
Maryland. So we liked it down here. It's more spread out. We decided we bit the bullet and decided to move, so we moved down.
Cool.
So
Right on.
Very
both
cool.
real
man.
happy down here.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad to be here.
So you got how many kids you got?
Just one daughter,
One daughter. Very cool. How old is she?
38.
38 years old. Man, she's like my age. Any grandkids?
No.
No grandkids? Don't want any or
Didn't ask. Don't
Yeah.
know what the
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
that's between them.
that you're right. You're
Yeah,
right. You're right. That's true.
When it comes to jiu-jitsu, what's your, out of what you've learned, like the positions you'll find yourself in when we're open rolling, like what's your favorite niche of jiu-jitsu? Do you have a spot that you?
Still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
Just sort of work into whatever seems to be the thing to do at the time. Side control or whatever. Seems to be I end up in side control more than anything. Or I'm getting smashed by an upper belt.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
More getting smashed than anything.
Don't make it sound so bad.
I mean, hey,
It's
man.
just the way it is.
And
you know.
I mean,
it's
it's been a long
every day
time
it's
since I've
humbling.
been smashed, so
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, you're good at
I've been
smashing
there.
me.
Yeah, I
but
try to be.
Yeah, me too. You smashed
he's
me
gentle.
last
It's
week,
a-
dude.
It's a gentle smash.
He had me
DK.
up against the wall in some position. I don't even remember what I was
I don't
in.
either.
But it was like a darce, but you were like sitting on me or something. I was just like,
Dude, my balance has just gotten so good, as far as like being able to stabilize on top of people whenever they're just wiggling and squirming really bad. And I just hang out for a minute and just let you wiggle and work.
Your pressure's amazing.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, I'm not going to give out my secret. No, it's the yoga ball for real. It's the stability ball, man. Like I was telling somebody that the other day, and they're like, I just don't know how you're able to move like that and keep your feet on the ground and have that pressure. And I was like, just wheeled the ball over. I just rolled the ball over. I said, man, I've been working on this thing for over 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the resistance that the yoga ball gives you, right? Like you push in on it. Like I can push in on it. Where it's air, right? Like if I just drilled on the ground, it wouldn't build it's not pushing back, right? You guys, when I'm rolling with you, you're going to push back on me, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to move, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the ball, when I press my knee into it and if I just press my knee into it and it's just like off balance, it's going to roll away, right? But if I put my knee in the right position to where I can pin it to the ground and then drive my knee into it as hard as I can, maybe I don't do that to you guys, right? Like driving in as hard as I can, but on the ball, I can be as rough as I want to be. I can be as strong as I want to be. And what that does is it builds strength, right? Like resistance strength. You remember the Bowflex?
Yeah.
I know
I
you
do.
do.
I remember that.
What was that? That was all from resistance training,
Yep.
right? Like you pull the bow down and you just get stronger and stronger and stronger. So funny, the Bowflex, man. It's the same type of thing, you can still build strength from that resistance training, but it helps you just get like the pressure wise, right? Like from the ball resisting and pressing back on you. You guys are like pressing away with your legs, your knees, your feet, your arms, your elbows. And all I got to do is find a position where I can grab you, collar, head, underhook, overhook, wrist control, thigh grip, hip grip, something like that. And I just can start to drive my knee in more and more on you, and it's just, 15 years of me doing resistance training with that ball and understanding the way that ball moves. That's all a human is when they're on the ground. They're going to move around and roll around and, you want to be a ball when you're in jiu-jitsu. You want to be as round as you can be, so you can move better. And so if you learn how to control those positions and prevent that person from moving away from you, you can always keep the pressure on them. But it does take a long time to develop. It's one of the, you can learn armbar in a day, but to develop pressure and to build pressure and, strength as far as like with a human, it takes a long time. Yeah.
The first private we ever did together, you had me on that ball.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of
You've told me about the ball many times.
Yeah. I used to warm up on that thing every day before class. I haven't done it in a while, though. I need to go ahead and just get me one. I have a garage. I have
Amazon,
no excuse.
You can order them on 75 centimeters, I think is what I usually use. You can order them. You got one at home now. Yeah.
I don't use it nearly as much as I should.
And I didn't either, man.
Corner and, you kind of forget about it, and then you get lazy.
Yep, same.
It does help.
Yeah, it's the same with me, man. Like, I remember COVID. When COVID was around.
Yeah.
It's like it's hiding somewhere. Yeah. When COVID was around and, the world just stopped, I used to do, I had the ball in my living room, and, man, I'd put some music on and play around on that thing and move around for like 10 minutes, man. And if you start, you can get your heart rate up and your muscles get tired and just from doing that stuff, So it's really beneficial. I think my mic's a little loose. I've been messing with it.
Oh, yeah. I have to stop myself from like grabbing it and twisting it. Like, it's weird. Yeah. I think I'm on the spectrum somewhere, dude. Like, sometimes I just can't
is
stop.
this right?
I can't help but just like fiddling with stuff, even though it doesn't need fiddling, What's some other things besides like a ball that like any other like simple things that you could use to better your game?
Bands are good. Yoga. Yoga's, I think, has benefited me as far as like being able to hover. I say hover or be as low to the ground as possible, with my hands and my feet, in kind of a plank position and being able to put my feet and knees in certain areas, and just understanding how control of your body. And I think that has played a big role, as far as, because I just started doing yoga probably 5 years ago.
You just do it at your house, or?
Yeah, I put on YouTube. I just type in like yoga for BJJ, or and there's a ton of free stuff on there, and I'll click on that one. I have a few of my favorite ones that I like to do, like routines that I like to do, but I haven't done it in a long time. I was just talking to Megan a little bit ago. I was like, man, I got to start my yoga back because my back in the mornings, I can tell.
Really?
Tell. How is it when you get up?
I try not to think about it. I just crawl out of bed. And
do you do any stretching at home?
Yeah, I do a lot of stretching.
Yeah?
Especially on the days off. I'll do a lot of yoga. I do the same thing, BJJ, yoga for BJJ. And I'll do a lot of stretches.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it's helped a lot, especially with the hips.
It does.
See, I have really bad hips. That's like just runs in my family.
Yeah.
So I should probably start stretching because I never stretch.
Yeah, dude. You definitely
at all
need to.
I stretch for like 5 minutes before class, and that's it.
I know. And see, it's going to start, bro.
Yeah.
It's going to start catching up to you, man.
I was younger.
Really?
I never stretched when I was younger.
I never stretched before like games or anything like that.
It was a waste of time back then. You didn't want to spend the time to do it, and you should have did it.
Right.
Now it's catching up to you.
I warm up now. Warming up is probably, I don't say, so before you do something, you should warm up. After you do something is when you should stretch.
I think that's even more important.
Yeah.
Oh, really? After?
Yes.
Afterwards.
After, because your muscles are already kind of heated up and you can start to even elongate them even more than what the cold stretch would do, right?
Okay.
So like at the beginning when you're a teenager, I mean, even in primary school, when you were a kid, all you did was static stretching, like touch your toes, 1, 2, and you count for 10 seconds and you're done. That's called static stretching. it has been proven, and people, I might teach you guys something today. It's been proven that if you do that, it can delay your athletic performance. If you do that, if you stretch
beforehand,
just cold stretching, it can delay your performance. However, if you do dynamic stretching, it can enhance your performance because you're doing active movements while you're stretching, like high knees, butt kicks. You're kind of moving and running, and kind of arm circles, different things. You're moving that kind of limb or whatever you're wanting to stretch instead of just holding the stretch, and you're getting it warmed up. So that's like when we do our warm-ups, I like to do our jogs around, our shovels inside. I like to do all that stuff, arm circles, bear crawls, because it's more active, dynamic stretching instead of static. And then afterwards, I'm like, all right, guys, grab your belt sometimes, start stretching, pulling those legs back, and groin stretch and different things like that. That's just going to keep you in it longer. I sit there and preach about it all the time just because, man, when I was driving from Alabama up to New Jersey to go train at this place called AMA Fight Club back in the day. They had, Jim Miller is, Dan Miller.
Yep.
Charlie Brenneman back in the day. You know who Charlie Brenneman is, big afro.
Don't know him, but I know who Jim is.
So he fought like Charlie Brenneman fought like Rick Story. He fought and what's that other dude? He passed away. Anyways, he fought some bigger name guys. He was training up there and some other dudes. Anyways, I was driving up there and I get in West Virginia, dude, and I got I got sciatica running down my left leg, whole left leg. And I got my leg out the window driving down the road and everything going through I hit the side of Pennsylvania right before I go up into New Jersey. It was in Whippany, New Jersey. Anyways, I get there and I'm like, I have to stretch. It's an hour before practice. And so I'm like running around, doing all those high legs, like kicking my legs up and doing everything I can. And then after practice, I went and bought a foam roller, a heating pad, and a massage like thing. This is before they had obviously the Theragun or the Hyperice stuff. And so I got this thing that kind of looked like a dildo or something, man, like on my back. And it's like, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It looked weird. Anyways, and I'm like, I have to massage my back because it's portable. And it would I can unplug it out of the AC charger and I could take it with me on the way to practice.
It's just like a dildo.
Yeah, just like it. Yeah. I could just turn it on vibrate while I'm driving down the road, stick it behind me, and I'm good to go.
Man.
But that's how I would take ice baths. Man, that was 2010, 2011 time frame I was doing that. I'd drive up to New Jersey, live in a hotel for a week, train all week, and then drive back.
I want to start doing ice baths. I've never done one.
I've never done an ice bath.
Yeah, we got to bring my tub here.
Like when it comes to cold water, like I am the biggest bitch. Biggest.
You just got, it's something about it. It's like, I'm the same way. I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
I hate doing it.
How long do you normally do them for?
3
Just
minutes.
a couple minutes?
Just
3 minutes?
Yeah. The main thing is when you're doing an ice bath is you want to get in and be able to control your breath, right? The sooner you can learn to control your breath and control that shock, right? Because when you get in an ice bath, a lot of people, and this was my first time, you can't breathe, right? Because you're in shock, right? Your body's like, all right, protect the important stuff, which is this, right? Like your brain and your whole torso, not your limbs. So like, I mean, your hands are freezing, your toes are freezing, feel like they're about to fall off, and you can't breathe and stuff. But if you just like, and try to relax and just try to calm your body down a little bit and relax your shoulders. That was another thing. I have a video of me in my first ice bath.
Really?
Yeah. It was like I went up to Charlotte to do to work with Brandon Powell, who's one of Wim Hof's first.
I've heard you say his name before.
First, like certified instructors, and did a 4-hour private lesson with him, man. And he's got a freezer up there that he keeps at like 36, 30, 35 degrees, 34 degrees. So like right there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he just he'll break the ice on the top and everything and get in, you know. And I got in up all the way up to my neck my first time, hands and everything, and I was freaking out. But now I can jump right in and I'll be like, and it'll take me a couple seconds now. And before it was like literally he had to talk me through the whole thing, you know. But I think now you do the breath work with us every morning in the mornings.
Helped,
yeah. What do you think about the breath work, man? What's your take on it? Do you feel it helping you?
I think it's helped me a lot. I do. I don't know about some of the other guys, but I've got asthma, so allergy and exercise-induced asthma. So I think the breath work helped. When we first started here, I couldn't hold my breath for like 30 seconds. First couple times I came here.
And now it's like
now,
2 minutes,
I can
right?
do 2 minutes now, which I never thought I'd even be close to that.
I would have never thought you had asthma from watching you roll, man.
Yeah.
It's,
Like I've never seen you whip out an inhaler or anything.
Yeah, you see me gasping for air every now and then.
But that's different because I don't have asthma and I do that, you know. But I mean, like I've never ever thought that you would have had asthma or anything.
Yeah,
there's times when especially if it's real humid out, I have a hard time catching my breath in. That seems to bother me the most. But for the most part, you just deal with it.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, it's just
like injuries.
Had it my whole life. You just learn to deal with it and
wow.
Right on.
go with the flow. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, that is it, man.
You can either curl up in a corner and do nothing, or you can just go live your life. And I just choose to live.
That's it, man.
Right
Me too,
on.
dude.
Are you competing next week?
No,
No.
Uh-huh.
Do you plan to compete one day?
probably not.
Just doing it just for
Yeah, I'm just doing it. I enjoy it.
right on.
You don't want to add that stress in your life. You don't want it, bro. You don't want that stress. You don't need that stress in your life. Competition stress is the worst. It's the worst. Are you competing next week?
Mm-hmm. It's starting to hit me a little bit because last week I was out sick, and then I'm like, "Oh, this is great, right?" Like 2 weeks out, I'm sick. I can barely breathe. I'm coming tonight. I'm still a little congested, but fuck it, I'm coming. But yeah, it's I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'll get more nervous, but whatever,
Yeah,
man.
That's one thing
Yeah.
that's like when I thought the older I got, the easier it would get. And the more I competed, the easier it would get. Nah, man. The more competitions you do and the more you win, and then the bigger competitions you do, the higher, the better the people you're going to go against, right? So it's like you're just, oh man, like I thought I'd be used to this by now, but no, it's a whole different, like different set of people. Like they're better now, right? So it's just like when you were a beginner fighting against a beginner, like, oh, we're the same, but then it's like you could get away with some stuff, you know, you could make mistakes. When you get up to that highest level, it's like the mistakes that you think that, you know, you worry about, you know, it just drives me insane, man. So
You put a lot of pressure on yourself, though. You expect more
I
of
do.
yourself.
I do. Yeah, you're exactly right, man. I expect a lot out of myself. Yeah, I expect myself to win, and I expect myself to look like an expert and be an expert. And so, yeah, that I do put a lot of pressure on myself. Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing that I'm scared of with competing is I don't expect myself to look like an expert, right? But I expect to win, and if I don't win, mentally it's going to be a hard couple of days for me after.
Yeah,
that's what I'm scared of.
I always told myself, man, it was like, you know, if I get to a certain like record or if I lose too much, you know, I'll just quit, you know, and that's what I started coming up in my years of age and, you know, going through some stuff in my life, you know, and I started losing and I was like, that's it, man. I don't win this next one, I'm done after this. I don't want to keep, you know, riding a dead horse pretty much is kind of like when I went. So 34 when I retired. You know, and I look back at it and I was like, man, 34. You're 33, right?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. That's
Damn,
crazy.
that went by quick. That went by super quick. Because I remember watching your last couple of fights.
I know, man. You guys watched my fight in Maine at your house.
Yeah. We watched
Yeah.
a couple of your fights at our house.
Yeah.
And then I watched you compete at the convention center, I believe. Or maybe.
I fought House Blues.
It might have been House of Blues.
Yeah, I fought at House Blues.
Did you and Jeremiah fight on the same card?
Yeah.
That was the one was that the House of Blues?
Yeah.
All right,
there was
yeah.
we had a bad night that night. It was like everybody from our team lost that night.
Yeah. I remember. I remember that night.
Yeah. Wasn't a good night, man. I somehow gave up a decision. You know, I thought I was comfortable with my abilities. You know, I thought I was going to tap this kid really quick. You know, his jiu-jitsu just wasn't up to part of mine. But to MMA fight's a fight, you know. And so I got comfortable with me being on my back, just like, oh, I'm going to tap this guy. Oh, I'm going to tap this. Like, next thing you know, it's third round, you know.
Yeah.
And he's been on top, you know, for 2 rounds. And it's not because, like, he had to work too hard to get there. It's just like, I was like, come on to my guard so I can submit you. You know, so it's weird. It's a weird thing to be. But I think it's awesome, man, that you just get in here and you don't have, you know, it's your journey. You know what I'm saying?
It's a journey. Yeah.
It's your journey, and, you know, you've combated a lot of stuff compared to, like, a lot of other people would have quit by now. And that's why we wanted you on here, man, because you just you've kind of, you know, proved a point to a lot of people, you know, whether you know it or not. A lot of people do look up to you, and
you're a resilient dude, man.
Yeah.
And everybody, like he was saying, like, whether you know it or not, everybody knows it here. And everybody talks about it too when you're not around. So, you know, that's why we wanted to have you on. And I'm going to put you on the spot with this next question. So what do you think is the biggest thing that jiu-jitsu has taught you about yourself?
It's very humbling.
Mm-hmm.
You walk on the mat and you think you're going to do a lot better than you actually do. And somebody that you wouldn't expect just cleans the mat with you. It's a very humbling experience.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
In a good way.
Right, yeah.
You know, I don't mean that in a negative way. It's a very good way.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people need it.
I saw these 2 dudes that we went to Charleston on Saturday, and we stopped at. You've been to the Seawee Outpost? You ever stopped at the Seawee Outpost? It's like from McClellanville. You know, you have McClellanville you go through, and then it's like Mount Pleasant's right there, or Isle of Palms.
Right.
It's in between that, out in the middle of nowhere. Anyways, it's like a little gas station.
Oh yeah, that's the one that was on Outer Banks.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Anyways, go right there. These 2 dudes, one guy, I guess, one dude was coming around to pull into the gas spot while another guy, big truck, comes in, didn't see him, and goes, boom, parked right there. This guy, his little, like, Subaru Outback or something like that, jumps out and was, like, cussing at this dude. And I'm just watching the whole time. I'm like, man, these guys are not going to fight. They're not going to do it. They're just yelling at each other. Finally, to do with the big truck, you'd figure, you know, he just moved out. He just got out of the way. And the guy,
oh, really?
Yep. Let the guy in. He was just like, dude, he was like, I didn't see your little car.
Right.
Because there was like a bunch of boats right there.
Yeah.
Parked. So, anyways.
I wouldn't have moved. I would have pumped my gas.
I wouldn't have moved.
Yeah, it's like, especially you come up yelling at me.
Yeah,
nah, dog, you can wait.
Yeah. Don't yell at me. I'm the worst though, man. It's like I've gotten out of the car before, and like nowadays you just can't do that.
Yeah, right.
You can't, man. It's not worth it, dude. Somebody will shoot you real quick.
Yep.
You know,
I do all my yelling with the windows up.
Well, all I did was I was like, here's what I hate. I'm driving down the road, and this is back when I had a stick shift, so it's like you don't go up every little you know. So when I had my stick shift, I would just like kind of leave it in neutral or whatever, and there was a car length in front of me. A car length. and at a stoplight. And this was Glens Bay, Homestown Road, back before they used to have the overpass.
Yep.
So I'm right there getting ready to go to take a right to go down 17. And there was actually construction on during the time. So there's a little bit of traffic. And this guy in this minivan honks the horn at me. I just get out. And I just throw up my hand. I'm like, where you want me to go, man? You want me to move up a car space so you can just we're not going anywhere, man. So you didn't need to blow the horn. And that guy, he was in a little minivan, his wife. There's 4 kids in the back or something like that. He's just eyes straight ahead. He did not look over at me one little bit. I'm like, dude, where you want me to go? I'm like doing this. I'm like, where you want me to go? And he's just like, so got back in my little Honda Civic. Me. Moved up a car length and just sat there a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's just, so if it's you out there, don't be beeping the horn at people too soon.
Look at me next time, boy.
Yeah.
I had an incident the other day. I was with my girlfriend, and the light had just turned green. It's like, I was man. So I started going. I was like, you know what? I just hit the brakes, and I sat there for a solid 15 seconds, and then turns yellow. Took off.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just feels good.
The old oop-de-oop.
Yeah.
The old oop-de-oop.
It just feels good. And that was on Glens Bay as well. But, dude, back before they put the overpass there, that was a very dangerous intersection, dude.
Crazy.
Every year there was a bad wreck there from somebody from my school.
You've came to Myrtle Beach since the construction boom.
Oh, it's crazy down
here. Yeah.
They need to slow it down.
They do, man.
Man, I just don't know if that will ever happen, dude. Yeah. It's growing so fast.
It's growing really fast.
Like, you have to do that to keep up, you know?
It's good for business, but, man, it's like there ain't the real estate's.
Oh, dude, it sucks for people like me that grew up here, is not used to making that kind of money up north. Like, I can't compete with those prices.
I know, dude.
So, luckily, I'm in a good spot right now. But, like, I would love to own my own place. You know, that'd be cool. But it's not going to happen anytime soon. It's
wild, man. they built some houses over by my place. And I was like, what are these houses going for? And Megan was like, $500,000. I'm like, no way, these houses are $500,000, man.
Yeah. 8 years ago, they would have been like,
and I said,
$220.
Dude, I was like, I'm blown out of the wall. I was really shocked. They were over $500,000, man.
Yep.
And I'm just like, and who knows what the HOA is now? That's another thing. How much you pay HOA? You pay HOA?
Yeah, our HOA is only $180 every quarter.
Oh,
it's just for
that's
common
not bad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just
a lot of these are like $350 a month.
Yeah, that's all ours is.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know, dude. Like,
I mean, I don't pay it, but
I mean,
I know people.
I live in a neighborhood that has no HOA, so it's
nice.
Yeah, man, it's the best, dude. And that was what we were looking for. I've lived in an HOA before, dude, and I'm just like,
pester you about every little thing.
Well, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like your trash can can't be right there. It needs to be like you'll get a citation for leaving your trash can in front of your garage instead of around to the side of the house or something like that.
I get why HOAs are around. Like, they don't want the property value to go down. They don't want
the riffraff moving in and not cutting the grass and stuff growing out of all crazy.
The placement of the trash can isn't going to lower anybody's property value.
No, man.
But some of the HOAs, they get a little bit of power and it goes to their head.
Oh yeah,
you're right, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the the high school president of your senior class,
yeah, right?
Yeah, that wants to be the HOA president and run it.
Maybe the treasurer. Put me in charge of all the money. We're gonna have the best pool,
Oh man.
But yeah, man. Well, appreciate you coming in, Alan. It was cool to talk about your story a little bit, learn a little bit about you, and I mean, especially for people that watch, that might have some of those questions, answered.
Just try it and do it.
Yeah, get them out and get them started.
Don't let the age scare you. The hardest thing is stepping on the mat the first time.
Oh, I know, dude.
That was hard.
It's a little intimidating.
It was hard for me, and that's what I tell people. I'm like, hey, are you a little nervous? It's okay to be nervous.
And that nervousness doesn't go away. There's times when I still walk on that mat, and if I'm going to roll with somebody like a lot bigger or stronger than me, it's like, shit.
Or me.
Or you.
Or
yeah,
me,
you know
yeah.
you're going to get crushed. But you roll down to us, though. To a point. And then it's
Every
like,
now, who knows? You know, who knows?
I was that way. I've just kind of gotten to the point where I accept it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm ready to get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
You know, let's go, whatever.
You know you're going to get beat. You know, you can't take it personal.
Right.
You just
Yeah.
do it.
Yep.
That's the main thing is can't take it personal,
Can't
man.
take it
I've been in a place where I've kind of taken it personal, you know, before, and you know you just can't
But that's
can't
hard
do
to
that
push your
because
ego.
listen,
Yeah.
man, you're trying to do the same thing. If you could do what that guy did, let's say somebody that just completely murdered me on the mats, right? Like I would have done the same thing to him. I would have murdered him, but he just murdered me 1st, right? Like I would have put it on him. And that's just the way it is, man. That's just like you just got to get better. That's it.
That's it.
So you can do it to that person before they do it to you. Yep.
Just continue to improve a little bit at a time. It's your journey. Do it. And have fun.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a very personalized journey too. It's different for everybody.
Everybody's their own puzzle.
Yeah.
It's your own
great
puzzle,
way of putting
man.
that.
You got your own puzzle pieces, and you're never ever going to find that last puzzle piece.
Mm.
You're never going to find it, man. You're always going to keep adding to the puzzle. You're always going to miss pieces. Pieces are going to get lost sometimes, and you'll be like, "Man, I had that piece right there."
Where you try to put the wrong piece.
Yeah, and you
force
keep
it in.
shoving it
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, and it's just not working. And then I come
Right.
along, I'm like, "Hey, put your foot right there."
Boom.
Boom. Oh my God, that was it.
Yeah.
You make it look so easy, though.
He does.
Try, man. You know, let's hopefully I can just keep on doing that, and hopefully I can keep fooling you guys and making you think that. That's all I'm doing. It's just a magic show.
I don't know about the magic show.
You going to be here tomorrow morning?
Yeah, noon. I'll
Yep.
be here noon.
Noon class.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited for tomorrow morning. I haven't been in Gee for like a week and a half, so.
I leave out on Wednesday. Got kids Pan Ams this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday out in Orlando.
When are you coming back from that?
I'll be back Monday.
Monday?
Yep.
Cool. All right, man. Well, again, Alan, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You're the man,
you guys
dude.
asking me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
no doubt, man.
Thanks.
You want to take us out?
Yep. Hey, everybody, Alan, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys for watching and paying attention. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and comment if you want to comment. We always reply back, so thank you guys so much, and let's share too. Appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Till next time.